All right, so welcome to Lincoln Ultimate. This video is really designed for beginners who came out. Maybe we've already been playing for a little while and people are screaming all these words and you're kind of confused. You want to know what's going on. It might help some of the experienced players also to just sort of make sure they got a good handle on what we're talking about. I'm going to start with this Wikipedia image that does a nice job of explaining a basic stack and where the defense should be. Right now we have the offensive players or circles here, and we have this offensive circle here handling with the disc. The defensive players are these triangle shapes, and here's the defenseman that's on the disc, we say that. We have three zones that are nicely defined on this picture, that's why I like it. Over here we have the zone that's called the break area. Here we've got, this is one of the passing lanes. We'll often use yell that as a passing lane. Here we've got the dump area. This area should stay clear except for the handlers as much as possible because the handlers need to cut and get open if the count's high so that the guy with the disc has somewhere to throw to. And by guy, I mean guy or girl. Sorry about that. All these defensemen here, you'll notice are all cheating to one side. That's because we're doing what's called a force. This defenseman is forcing the backhand throw. Because what this defenseman doing is going over to one side, really cheating on one side, and this one player is basically guarding this whole side of the field and not letting any throws happen to this whole side of the field, this one player, by not allowing any of these forehand throws or throws over the top over to this side. His job or her job is really just to not let any throws go over to here. That makes it so all our defensemen get a cheat over to this side. They get a cheat to this side, knowing that it's going to be wide open because this guy with the disc can easily throw over to this area. And so the defensemen are going to cheat over to this side. So we need to be able to communicate really clearly to each other what side we're doing that with, because if someone gets confused and defends the wrong side, their player is just going to be wide open over there and the throw is going to be way too easy. So we yell things to each other to make sure we get it. One of the traditional things to yell is to yell home or away. Like right now, this defenseman is forcing away, which would be the backhand side. This comes out of tradition of the home team setting up their team over here when the game's first starting and they're just like putting their bags down, and the away team would set up their bags over here. And so you could yell away or home to show one side of the field. That can be real confusing at times. So I prefer the forehand or backhand. I made this little applet here that'll show some movements in our vertical stack. So we can see here that one is guarding this side, and what that's doing is it's making so this offensive player just cannot throw over to this passing lane. This guy's going to yell forcing backhand because we're forcing him to throw his backhand because we're assuming that he's right-handed. The problem is if he's left-handed. If he's left-handed, that's actually a forehand throw. But number one here is still going to yell forcing backhand. Okay, even if he understands that it's actually a forehand throw, he still yells forcing backhand because all these defensemen here don't have time to turn around and check if this guy's right-handed or left-handed. They don't want to be thinking about that. So we assume the person with the disc is always right-handed, and he's yelling forcing backhand because if he was right-handed, that would be his backhand throw. And everybody here is cheating to this side, you can see, so that if three cuts this way, the defenseman on number three is also going to cheat and not let him come that direction. At Lincoln, we've got a nice deal going on for this because since we have the river on one side of our field and the school on the other, we'll often yell, forcing river or forcing school, and that makes it real easy and really clear. So in this picture here, if this was the school over here, we'd be yelling, forcing school because we're forcing him to throw over to the school side. So let's see how it looks with a little bit of motion here. So let's say we're going to look at these motions here. So at Lincoln, we don't set up plays, so everybody's free to do whatever cut they feel like. So it's a little more confusing, but we want to make sure that every single player is really looking at the other players. So if 3 is already making this cut here, 5 isn't going to make a cut at the same time so that the defensemen are all tripping over each other and the offensive guys can't get to the disc. So 5 notices that 3 is making the cut hard, and 5 is just going to wait a little bit before they cut into that space. 2 is the dump, the other handler. So their job is to get open back here. So let's take a look as this moves here. And as they're moving, we can see here comes 3, did his fake, and now is cutting in hard. So 3 did a fake out here, and now is cutting in hard into the lane. And the defenseman 3 knows that this is the open side, so he's cheating, always staying on this side, not allowing the 3 to get the disc at all. Okay, let's continue a little bit. Now 3 didn't get the disc, and neither did 4 on the break side. By the way, I should talk a little bit about why we call that the break side. The break side, when we come back here, this area here is called the break side because this defenseman here isn't allowing the throw over to here. And in order to get the throw to happen over here, this thrower has to make a really good throw. He has to break this defense in the sense that he gets the throw over into this area. Let's say 2, the defender on 2, he knows his man on 2 is sprinting over here into this wide open space. This defender 2 might scream, no break, no break, which is yelling to this defenseman, hey, watch out. This guy's wide open over here, so do even a better job of just not allowing that throw over to here. And that defenseman then is really watching out for maybe a hammer or anything that might make this throw happen over to here. And obviously, they can't do everything, so this defenseman is thus allowing the easy throw over into the other space. So 3 didn't get the disc here. So what 3 needs to do is get out of the way. Okay, if he stands here, this defenseman can cheat over and block the disc. So he needs to just get out of there quick. So he's going to sprint out to the sideline and just get out of the way. Similarly, 4 never got the disc, and he's standing in valuable real estate here where this is where 1 might be able to throw a little back throw. So 4 also is going to sprint out of the way and get back to the stack. So it's very important we don't clog these lanes here. Because what's going to happen now is we want 5 to be able to come in. And so now here comes 5 sprinting and coming into that passing lane, hopefully going to get the disc. Basically, 5 played such great defense, the defenseman on number 5, that never happened. But these 2 handlers know each other well, and 2 made a nice quick fake cut and is coming across, and 1 knew he could dump down to 2. Okay, so at this point, everyone's going to sort of reset the stack. 2 is going to be our new handler, and we just try again with lots of patience. No real hurries here as we get back into the stack. Okay, hope that helped a little bit, and let me know if it didn't, and we'll get rid of all your confusions. Thanks a lot.